I'm Rebecca of Pocketful of Posies, and today my video is a little bit different. I thought it would be fun to do a little chatty type video and tell you all what I'm working on and what I'm planning on working on for my costumes, and also to give you a little channel update. And so when I decide to make costumes, I a lot of times will do a simple sketch, just kind of draw it out, and really just the basic look of what I'm going for. And you know, I'm not a great artist. I get by, and I say this because my youngest sister is an amazing artist, and actually I'll link her Instagram down below. She's in college for art, so I am not the artist, at least drawing and painting and that kind of thing. I am not the artist in the family. But I do my best, and I sketch things out a lot of times just to kind of get an idea of what I want to do with the costume, or even just the colors I'm thinking of, so I have it in my mind and I can look at it when I'm either picking out fabric or deciding on patterns. Sometimes I decide on that before I make the drawing, but sometimes I just kind of draw what I like, what I think I will like, and then buy fabric and all that from there. Now, most of these sketches that I'm showing today are, I already have the fabric for them, because in my historically inspired Disney costumes, I'm working on trying to use up only fabric that I have in my stash without ordering more, since that seems kind of a frivolous purchase in these, you know, quarantined times. And you know, I can't go out to the fabric store anyway, although a lot of times I order fabric online anyway, but still, I'm trying to use up some stash. So without further ado, here is my attempt at sketching and my costume plans for the next few months. I hope you enjoy. Thanks! One of the first sketches I made was for my 16th century common woman dress pattern by reconstructing history. I made a few changes when I eventually got it all put together, and here it is in real life. This is my idea sketch for my 18th century robe à l'anglaise that I made back in, well, I started it back in November of 2019, and I finally finished it in March of 2020. I used a pattern by Black Snail Patterns on Etsy. This is my sketch for my 16th century historically inspired Snow White costume. I used the same pattern that I had used for my other 16th century dress. So now we get to costumes that I am currently working on or planning, and this is my Cinderella historically inspired costume. When I decided to do this one, I didn't want to do her ball gown, namely because I didn't have fabric for it, and I'm trying to use only stash fabric. But I thought it would be kind of fun to do her work dress. And as I was, you know, trying to decide when to set this costume, what time period, I was watching the movie, or clips from the movie. I didn't watch the whole movie again. I should though. And you know, looking at the costumes in the movie, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, vaguely Victorian, I think, is what I would call it. Lady Tremaine has a very, Victorian look with the high collar and the brooch and everything. And Anastasia and Drizella have their bustle dresses. Cinderella's ball gown is big and seems more of an earlier decade than Anastasia and Drizella's anyway. Hers looks more like it would be worn with a hoop skirt or crinoline. So I decided to do her work dress using a bodice pattern that I had from Truly Victorian. It's an 1860s bodice. I thought, let's go with it. So I sketched it out, and I wanted to, give the look of her work dress without being totally faithful to the movie, because, her work dress in the movie is shorter. It looks kind of like a 1950s dress, in the shape of it anyway, I think. So I wanted to, not, of course, wear a hoop skirt or anything with it, because she's working. That doesn't make any sense. So I'll probably just wear a petticoat underneath and leave it at that. But I'm excited to get it finished. I'm currently working on it. I'm nearly done with the bodice at this point, and I should have the rest of it finished in the next week or so. I'm not doing an all-in-one dress. I'm going to do a separate bodice and then a skirt, and then, of course, the iconic blue sleeves from her work dress. And I thought, why not for a work dress? If you're wearing, obviously, I would think Cinderella would be making her own clothes, or the mice would be making clothes for her. I don't know. Or, wearing hand-me-downs, wearing cast-offs from the stepsisters, maybe putting the blue sleeves from one dress onto her work dress, because the first sleeves got worn out. That's Lucius. He came to visit. But anyway, I'm hoping it will still have the look of her work dress. My next historically inspired Disney costume that I have in the works is a bit more whimsical, I think. It's a 1890s inspired Jiminy Cricket costume. I was looking at some, screenshots, and he looks so, he's got his little tailcoat and his waistcoat and everything. And I thought that would be cute. So I'm planning on making a, gored skirt, a vest or waistcoat, a little puff sleeve, kind of short bolero length jacket, and then have a blouse, a tie, and a blue top hat, and his red umbrella. I think it's going to be really cute. So for my color choices, looking at screenshots, they're all a little bit different. Sometimes it looks like he's wearing brown pants. Sometimes they look green. Sometimes they look gray. Sometimes they look kind of tan color, So I was looking at some character photos of the characters at the parks, and they all seem to have green pants. So I decided to go with kind of an olive color skirt, which, because I have some olive colored materials. And then I've got, for his waistcoat, I've got a kind of a rust color that's got some gold and green flowers and stuff on it that I'm going to use for the waistcoat. And then I'll probably use some brown corduroy for his little jacket, or her little jacket, because I will be wearing it. And I have a top hat, and so I think I'm just going to recover it, and it's pretty. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a fun costume, definitely. So, in addition to this, I wanted to share some, I think, very exciting channel news. My sister Rachel is going to be joining me on this channel. She's going to be starting a video series called Jam Yesterday, and that is going to be a culinary tour through literary history. In her first video of this series, she's going to be making white soup and discussing the history of the dish and its significance in Pride and Prejudice. So, very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to watching it, and I hope you will all enjoy it too. There will be a little costume fun in it as well. So I included a couple of extra drawings that I have done that I have not started yet. Well, I've started one of them, but I'm planning on an 18th century belle inspired costume, which I know has been done, but I want to do it too. And then I have which is not in the Disney category, but I do have plans for doing a Victorian Narcissa Malfoy costume. I have it started. I've got the skirt made and have to work on the bodice now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited that I've gotten some new subscribers recently. We're over 100 now, close to 140, and so thank you again. I hope you enjoy this video, and I look forward to being with you again with some more sewing adventures. I'll see you next time.